In the winter of 1958, the quiet farmlands of Nebraska were about to face something they had never seen before. A crime spree so shocking, so unthinkable, that it would mark one 14-year-old girl as one of the most controversial figures in American history. This is the story of Caril Fugate, the youngest female ever tried for first-degree murder. Caril was just a small, soft-spoken freshman in high school, still more child than teenager, when she met 19-year-old Charles Starkweather. He was older, rebellious, and fascinated with the idea of being a dangerous outsider. To Caril, he wasn't scary. He was exciting. He made her feel seen in a way no one else did. But what she didn't know was that Charles was already slipping into darker thoughts, darker fantasies, and he wanted Caril by his side through all of it. On January 21st, Caril walked into her home and stepped into a nightmare she couldn't understand. Her mother, her baby sister, and her stepfather were nowhere to be found. Charles was waiting for her, calm, too calm. He told her they were being held hostage, that if she listened to him, if she obeyed him, they would be safe. She later said she believed him. She was 14, frightened, and desperate for answers. But the truth was far worse. Her family was already gone, killed before she ever arrived. For the next 6 days, the world outside went on as normal, while inside that house, a dark secret festered. A handwritten sign hung on the door, "Stay away," and anyone who approached was threatened and driven off by Charles. Caril would later claim she was trapped inside, forced to act like everything was normal. She said Charles told her that any attempt to escape would end in her death too. Whether it was fear or something else, Caril stayed. When the couple finally left the house, they didn't run for help. Instead, they began a journey across Nebraska that turned into one of the darkest crime sprees in American history. Charles carried the gun. Charles pulled the trigger. But everywhere they went, Caril was seen beside him. Some witnesses said she looked terrified, frozen with fear. Others insisted she looked calm, even involved. No one could agree who she really was. The manhunt intensified as bodies were discovered. Nebraska went into a panic. Schools closed. Families locked their doors. Police and volunteers searched abandoned buildings, barns, and fields. Word spread across the country. 2 teenagers, 1 weapon, and a trail of fear left behind them. And in every newspaper article, every radio broadcast, one question kept coming back. Was Caril a hostage, or was she a partner? Their spree came to an end after Charles panicked during a confrontation and surrendered. Caril was taken into custody, shaking, crying, insisting she had never helped him, never wanted any of this. She said she didn't even know her family was dead until days later. But the courtroom wasn't a place for sympathy. The nation watched as this small, frightened 14-year-old girl sat beneath bright lights and flashing cameras while lawyers argued about her soul. Prosecutors said she was an accomplice, a willing participant who could have escaped but didn't. Caril said she was trapped, controlled, manipulated by an older boy who threatened her life. The jury didn't believe her. She was convicted and given a life sentence, later reduced to 17 years. Charles Starkweather was executed in 1959. Caril grew up behind prison walls, serving her sentence quietly, eventually earning parole for good behavior. She lived the rest of her life insisting she was innocent, insisting she was a child trying to survive the unimaginable. Some criminologists today believe she might have been a victim, groomed, and terrified. Others believe she played a bigger role than she ever admitted. The truth remains twisted, confused, and buried under decades of debate. Was Caril Fugate a scared young girl caught in the grip of a violent killer? Or was she a silent partner in one of America's most chilling teenage crime sprees? No matter which side you believe, the shadow of that winter in 1958 still hangs heavy over Nebraska and over the name Caril Fugate.